Welcome back to Respect is Growing. My name is Vanessa. Also, welcome to any new faces around here. I noticed I had a few more subscribers and I couldn't be more thrilled. Thank you so much for your support. Now, today's video is sort of fun. I wanted to try this. This was suggested once again in a different way to me through YouTube, but I did my own spin on it, which I have seen many other people do as well, so I'm following that trend. And it's what I eat in a day. As especially a stay-at-home mom, anyone who may not know, I have a soon-to-be 1-year-old son. I cannot believe that's even what I'm saying right now, for him to be almost 1. Surprisingly, time goes by so fast when you have a baby, and I know everyone says it, but until you're actually in it, it's surprising. Now, before we get into the food side of this video, there are a few things I want to address to clear the air. I don't have any pre-existing health concerns. I don't have a history of food issues. You will hear me mention a cup of something, and that's because I am taking out, at this point in time, my 1 cup measuring, and let's say it's rice, that making sure I'm having 1 cup, because I found, again, you can check my husband's YouTube channel for some of these videos that I'm referring to. It's called Cooking with Ronald. I'll go ahead and leave that information with you as well. But I found I was just eating too much. Simple. So this is one way to curb that, and perhaps in the future I won't need to actually take out the measuring cup, which is fine. But everybody's journey is different, and this is where I'm at in mine. It's important to note as well, I am not a dietitian. I am not anyone who specializes in food or has any sort of educational knowledge. Of course, I've done my own research, and what you see me eating here, and even just on a regular basis, I am eating because it keeps me full. Through the years, I've learned what works for me and what doesn't, and I'm still learning. You can always pick up bad habits and then try and lose those again, or you pick up a good habit, and it's always a process. So just keep that in mind, please. Cannot emphasize it enough. I am not in any way, shape, or form a professional in this industry. However, if you find some inspiration in what I've eaten, that's wonderful. I watch these videos myself for that exact reason. I sort of pick what works for me, things I like, my personal tastes, and then I go from there, and I'll introduce that into my daily diet or monthly diet, whatever works for us. Also, I wanted to mention that there are certain things I eat on a somewhat regular basis that you do not see in this video, because I want to be very clear with you all, and I feel that's really important. So I eat cookies regularly, I have muffins, I have iced coffee. Yes, you do see me make my own in this video, but I will go and buy it as well. I sometimes have ice caps. I realize all these things have higher amounts of sugar, etc. So I watch the amount I have of that, and I try to curb those cravings. However, I also don't deny them either, because that's something I found really doesn't work for me. I'm not somebody who thrives with restriction. Actually, it's the opposite for me. If I don't restrict food, and I know in my head, okay, if I choose to have this today, it's better for me than for the opposite to happen, which is I really want this, but I'm not supposed to have it. It's, I guess, that, hard to say what it is, but I guess it's that notion of you're not supposed to have that doesn't sit well with me. So the funny thing is, if I'm trying something restrictive, then I want that item more. It's just something that pops into my head more than it would if I don't have that restrictive diet placed on me. Again, personalities differ. This is mine. So I have to work with who I am, what works for me, and in the process, also just be so kind to myself as well. I think that there's sort of a lack of that, especially when you think about health and bodies and all the images that are placed really a lot on women. Yes, I'm not excluding men. Obviously men get those as well, but I am a woman, so I can speak from at least my experience, and there's a lot to take in. Alright, I do think that's everything I wanted to say, and furthermore, I hope you enjoy what you're about to see in terms of what I ate in this particular day. And of course, let's not forget, I do have, like I said, almost a 1-year-old. In this day I happened to have a really nice breakfast because I was able to leave him be and he could have fun and play around the house while I ate. But other days I end up with a cup of tea and maybe some arrowroot cookies. Both are very real days for me. And the same thing goes for lunch. Sometimes I don't have a really big lunch and I end up nitpicking and all throughout the day, which is why I like to try and have a full filling meal, because it stops me from snacking. I'm a huge snacker. So without further ado, let's get into the actual food that I ate on this day. This morning, around 8:30, I had a full glass of water. I try and start my day with just a glass of water before I have tea or coffee or any sort of food. I find this just helps me to start my day off right, and also to get in as much water as I can during a day. But now, as you saw, I made some tea. And I went ahead and I cooked some oatmeal as well, which Liam also had. You're seeing some cut up cantaloupe, along with, that's banana, particularly this right here. I would normally cut up the banana, but ours are getting a little ripe and this will be the easier way for me to eat it today. And then just turn it around. I have a full cup of oatmeal here. I'm going to mix in some peanut butter, as you can see with that. But let's just get some protein in there. And this is my breakfast for today. All right, I've gone ahead and put together my lunch. Today, of course, I'm gonna have some water to drink. As I mentioned before, I try to get as much water in my day as possible. And then I did decide to make an iced coffee at home, however, so that's sort of my little, I don't do this every day, so it's kind of like a little bit of a treat. And I put a new creamer in it, so it's kind of nice. It's really creamy. And then the main, of course, the meal. This is tuna that I went ahead and I toasted a piece of bread. I am not the biggest fan of tuna on like a full sandwich, so I just leave it open faced. Then along with that, there's some leftover rice that I just heated up. And on the sides, there's some cheese and avocado. That's actually half of an avocado, and it'll be just nice to have that with each bite. This is a little bit more than I normally would have, but again, every day's sort of different from each other, and I felt like I needed a little bit more since I exercised this morning. So dinner is all ready. I have yet another glass of water. That's going to be my 5th one today. I have a cup of tea. So I baked a quiche, which has cheese, some meat, some spices, obviously eggs, and then some milk, and a huge salad. So as you can see, half of my plate is salad. On that, we have cucumbers, peppers, tomatoes, topped with some almonds and also some dried cranberries. For dressing, as you can see here, it's called smoked peach, and it's really delicious actually. So that's something I would recommend. It's a vinaigrette, so it's actually quite nice. Wasn't all that delicious? I even, just looking back on that video, still enjoy all those foods, and I cannot wait to have some of those again. So, if you saw anything that interests you, please consider a like, share, and subscribe. Also, don't forget, you can also head over to my husband's YouTube channel, Cooking with Ronald, to see some other food-related videos that I have personally been involved with. He also does some other separate cooking, along with some DIYs, etc. Just things that happen in our day-to-day life. Aside from that, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, evening, or whatever else. And I hope to see you next time.